edge. What we do now is we usually work with 88 degree or 2 degree. Okay, and so again, what we're trying to do is the side edge, usually your edge this way, and when you have a new ski, when you flat file it, you have a 90-degree edge. What we're doing is we're actually taking the side edge and we're pulling it in 2 degrees. All right, but the reason we're pulling it in 2 degrees is because the base edge we actually already pulled up like ½ a degree or to a degree. So right now, if you just left the side edge, you'd be actually less than a 9-degree edge. So 1 degree would take it back to 90. The extra 1 degree gives it a little bit sharper edge. With Nitro, when we were skiing at Panorama for races, we were actually going 87 or 86 just because it was so icy. And the only problem with giving it too much of an edge is that they are super sharp and they grip hard, as well as you weaken the edge a little bit, so when you hit a rock, you do more damage than you do if you actually had a 90 degree. So we basically go with 2 degrees or an 88 on the side. And we're just, again, pulling them in this way. So same thing, fairly simple. You get your base guide. Some of them actually, the file just screws into it. Some of them have a clamp on it. Basically put it on, use the guide, keep the guide flat on the base, constant equal pressure, and just basically take long, smooth strokes down the side of the ski. And that, to initially do it, it'll actually, again, 3 or 4 passes to make the cut on it, and then you should find that they're super sharp. If the skis are the sharpness that we want, you should be able to peel off some fingernail. Okay, or you can actually feel it with your thumb and you actually, feel that it's sharp. Depending on the snow conditions is depending on how much we actually sharpen it. In the snow conditions, we just want the edge to be smooth, clean, somewhat sharp. We get on icy conditions like we're at Apex, then we basically want to make sure that we're taking off fingernail and that it's super sharp. What I do with the kids' skis, I pretty much sharpen the race edge, super sharp, and then the other edge, the training edge, I pretty much just sharpen it or just file it just so that it's smooth and there's no burrs in it.
So which side is which? Left or right?
Some skis actually are marked. This one actually, this is my race edge. It has an E on it. The lands will be marked. Some of the shape of some of the skis actually dictate that you actually have to have, this is the race edge, this is the training edge. With your guys, with the Rosno and the Dynastar, it's like this particular land where you could actually choose either one. So the best thing is to actually just put an R on one side and a T on the other side, or just put a star so you know which one's a racing edge. Then you keep the racing edge in really good shape.
It doesn't matter which side?
No. No. Not on your skis. Okay. On Matt's land, it does matter because there's a different side cut per ski.
Now with an 88 degree, is it? I've noticed that, do you inadvertently scrape the top of the ski off?
Yes. Well, the sides.
Yeah, sorry, sides.
Yeah, you'll do that the side. And we'll do that in 2 secs here. So back to the race edge again. So if you're actually, kids have been skiing on the skis, so you've got the flat filing done, you've got the base edge bevel done, and you've actually set up the side bevel. The kids are out skiing on it, and all of a sudden the ski's coming in for you to tune on it. What you'll get is especially our snow conditions here last year, you'll get some burrs on the edge. So when you go to actually do step number 3, the side edge and then the waxing, you'll want to check the ski. You can just use your thumb. Just be careful because the burrs sometimes can rip the skin. But you want to try and feel if you have any burrs in here. Because what happens with the burr is you have a reaction between the rock and the edge. It actually tempers the edge, so it actually changes consistency of the edge. And I don't know if you've ever had a situation where you've been sharpening a ski and the file jumps or skips on you. Well, you've got a burr on there. So what you should probably do every time you go to do the ski is just with a diamond stone or a whetstone, just put it in your guide and use the diamond stone. And you can rub both ways, and you can work on the area that needs to work, that has the burr in it. And the diamond stone, the whetstone, stronger, harder than the file, they'll actually take the burrs right out. Now, if you have a burr, most likely it's not just on the side, but it's also on the bottom. So you'll need to take the whetstone or the diamond stone and hold it on that edge. Again, you don't want to round the edge off, so you're trying to keep it square to it. And you would actually just try and work the burr out of the bottom side as well. I've got no burrs. There's the first. Okay, so diamond stones, basically, I'll use the diamond stone to actually initially take the burrs off. Then I will use the file, and you can use any size of file, but usually for the side filing, I try to use more like a 6-inch or an 8-inch file rather than a big 10 or 12-inch one, just so it's a smoother cut. Then you basically sharpen your edges to the sharpness that you want. Again, remember you're getting filing, so you want to shave those off. And then what I'll do is actually use the stone again, and it just smooths out any micro, not necessarily burrs, but any cut marks that are in there from the file, so I'll use the stone again. So I start off with the stone, use the file, and I finish off the stone using the same guide.
So why not use the stone all the way?
Unless you have different consistencies of stones. This one's a fine one. There's a medium coarse and a coarse. If the edges are in really good shape, you'll find the coarse one will actually sharpen the edge, but the fine one won't actually sharpen the edge enough. So you have to go to the file to actually to pull some more edge off. Now, to Ben's question, once the skis have actually been tuned a few times, just beside the edge, it's too hard to see on this one, but obviously there's a little bit of an epoxy lip there beside the edge on any of the skis that actually holds the edge in place. So what you'll find, the first thing, and if you've got a white sidewall, then you'll get white material. If you get a black sidewall, you'll get black material. When you're starting to file, you'll end up starting to get, you won't be able to sharpen the edge, and you'll actually start getting some epoxy filings in the file. So that means you've actually cut the edge back to the point where you're actually cutting into the sidewall, which not a big deal, but it's hard to sharpen your edge. We ran into this last year with Chase's skis, and that's one thing when you're sharpening the side edges. It only should take 3, maybe 4 passes of the file to get it to the sharpness that you want. If it was taking any more than that, there's a different reason that's happening. So most likely there's some burrs or you're cutting into that. So if you're not sure, just let me know and we can talk about it and figure it out. Because I know Chase spent hours trying to sharpen his skis. As with the Cardoses right now, they're sharpening the edges and it's not sharpening. So what's happening is they're cutting into the sidewall. Now, there's a couple of different things you can do for that. There are sidewall cutters that you can use just to cut the sidewall. Or you can actually, even with a file, you go with a heavier file. Okay? And if you only have the 88, what you could do is actually put 2 or 3 strips of duct tape on here, which again will turn it into like an 87 or an 86. Then you would actually file, and you would actually pull that base material off. And tear that sidewall material off.
Yeah, I'm not clear on that.
Yeah, so if you wanna try and take this material off, you need to tilt this over a little bit more this way.
Yeah.
So you'd actually put the duct tape on here, 2 or 3 strips, and that would actually, instead of having this at 88, would tip it to 87 or 86. So you'd actually be able to focus on taking the epoxy off there. Then when you take the duct tape off and file the edge, then you should be able to file the edge no problem. Now, there are new machines out, and I'm not sure quite how this one works yet, haven't looked at it, but this one machine is actually just set up to actually take that epoxy off there. So again, these tend to be very expensive, and what I usually use is to take the base material off, is I just have this little crazy